The story of Martin Guerre is one of the most fascinating historical accounts of deception, identity and justice from 16th century France. It intertwines themes of marital fidelity, personal ambition, and societal structures, with an exploration of the human ability to deceive and believe. Set in a rural village in the French Pyrenees, the tale has been immortalized in court records, novels, and films, capturing the imagination of audiences for centuries. At its heart lies a question that remains relevant to modern audiences. What makes someone truly themselves? Their appearance, behavior, or the way others perceive them? Martin Guerre was born in 1524 into a peasant family in the small village of Hendaye, in the Basque region of France. At the age of 14, his family moved to the nearby village of Artigat, a community with its own traditions and customs. In Artigat, Martin was married to Bertrande de Rolls, a girl of similar social standing, in an arranged union that reflected the customs of the time. The marriage, however, was troubled. For years, the couple struggled with infertility, an issue that carried significant social stigma in their agrarian society. Eventually, they had a son, but soon after, their marital harmony was disrupted by a shocking act. Martin Guerre abandoned his wife and family. In 1548, he left Artigat under mysterious circumstances, reportedly due to an accusation of stealing grain from his father. His sudden disappearance left Bertrande and their young son to navigate the challenges of life in a patriarchal and unforgiving rural society. After Martin's disappearance, Bertrande lived for nearly a decade as a forsaken wife, a precarious position in her community. Then, in 1556, a man arrived in Artigat, claiming to be Martin Guerre. He looked remarkably like the missing man, knew details about Martin's life, and was warmly received by many villagers, including Bertrande. This man resumed Martin's life, reclaiming his wife, child, and inheritance. For 3 years, the returned Martin lived a seemingly normal life. By all accounts, he was a better husband than the original Martin, attentive, affectionate, and responsible. However, doubts began to surface. Martin's uncle, Pierre Guerre, who had managed the family estate during Martin's absence, became suspicious of the man's identity. Pierre accused him of being an impostor and took the matter to court. The case that unfolded in 1560 in Réau is one of the most extraordinary legal battles of the early modern period. The man claiming to be Martin Guerre was identified as Arnaud Dutil, a notorious con artist from the nearby village of Sajas. Pierre Guerre's suspicions were supported by inconsistencies in Arnaud's stories and testimonies from those who knew Martin before his disappearance. Nevertheless, Arnaud put up a convincing defense. Arnaud's trial highlighted the difficulties of establishing identity in a world without photographs, fingerprints, or DNA evidence. Witnesses were called to testify, some supporting Pierre's claims, others insisting that Arnaud was indeed Martin. Most intriguing was Bertrande's role in the trial. Initially, she defended Arnaud, affirming that he was her husband. Her reasons for doing so have been a source of debate among historians. Was she genuinely deceived, or did she willingly participate in the ruse for personal or economic reasons? The case reached a dramatic climax when the real Martin Guerre returned to Artigat during the trial. His appearance shattered Arnaud's carefully constructed narrative. Confronted with the truth, Arnaud confessed to his deception and was subsequently sentenced to death. In 1561, he was executed in front of a large crowd, bringing the saga to a grim conclusion. The story of Martin Guerre has been analysed through various lenses, each revealing unique insights into 16th century society and human psychology. At its core, the Martin Guerre story raises profound questions about identity. How could an entire community, including a man's wife, mistake a stranger for someone they knew intimately? The case underscores how identity was understood in pre-modern societies, relying heavily on social context, memory, and recognition rather than tangible proof. Arnaud Dutil's success as an impostor also speaks to the malleability of identity. His ability to become Martin Guerre was rooted not only in physical resemblance, but in his ability to embody the role convincingly. This raises broader questions about what defines a person, appearance, behavior, or the perceptions of others. Bertrande de Rols's role in the story is particularly significant. As a woman in a patriarchal society, her life was largely defined by her relationship to her husband. Her defense of Arnaud, whether genuine or strategic, demonstrates her agency within the constraints of her position. Some historians suggest that Bertrande may have knowingly accepted Arnaud as her husband because he offered her a better life than the real Martin, whose abandonment and alleged crimes tarnished his character. The trial of Arnaud Dutil highlights the complexities of justice in early modern France. The court's reliance on witness testimony and character assessments, in the absence of definitive evidence, illustrates both the limitations and the sophistication of the legal system of the time. The case also underscores the community's role in maintaining social order. The villagers of Artigat were not passive observers but active participants in the process, their testimonies shaping the outcome of the trial. Arnaud's deception relied on a combination of his cunning and the willingness of others to believe. His success as an impostor reveals much about the human capacity for self-delusion and the power of social conformity. For many villagers, accepting Arnaud as Martin was easier than confronting the possibility of fraud, which would have upended their social and economic stability. The story of Martin Guerre has endured for centuries, inspiring countless retellings in literature, theatre, and film. One of the most influential modern interpretations is Natalie Zemon Davis's book The Return of Martin Guerre, 1983, which combines meticulous historical research with a compelling narrative. Davis's work has been praised for its insights into the lives of ordinary people in early modern Europe and its exploration of the interplay between history and storytelling. The tale has also been adapted into films, including the 1982 French movie Le Retour de Martin Guerre, starring Gérard Depardieu, and the 1993 American adaptation Somersby, set in post-Civil War America. These adaptations highlight the universality of the story's themes, showing how questions of identity, deception, and justice resonate across cultures and time periods. The story of Martin Guerre is more than a historical curiosity. It is a timeless exploration of identity, truth, and the human condition. Set against the backdrop of a tightly knit rural community, it reveals the fragility of personal identity in a world without modern technologies of verification. It also sheds light on the complex dynamics of gender, marriage, and power in early modern Europe. Through its twists and turns, the tale forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about the nature of belief and the ease with which appearances can be manipulated. Whether viewed as a cautionary tale, a legal drama, or a psychological study, the story of Martin Guerre continues to captivate and inspire, reminding us that the search for truth is as elusive today as it was in 16th century France.